My harvest.
Sa newspaper at magazines,
Share our knowledge. Koneksyon sa klima at sa pagbabasa. The stories of the everyday person who know better than us.
Trees. Everywhere I look, I feel your heartbeat. Majestic mountains high, in every drop of rain. All of this just shows me how much you love me. I am amazed by your beauty and your bounty. I am amazed by your constant care for me. I am amazed by your beauty and your bounty. I am amazed by your endless grace for me. The birds, a perfect symphony. Smell of the flowers, the richness of the soil, the sweetness of the fruit that satisfies. I am amazed by the symphony of your creation. I am amazed by your omnipresence. I am amazed by your beauty and your bounty. I am amazed by your endless grace for me. From a firefly to a shooting star, to the song a cricket sings, from the raging seas to the placid lakes, to the bubbling of the stream, from the rays I feel from the rising sun to the stillness of the night. I am amazed by your beauty and your bounty. I am amazed by your constant love for me. I am amazed by your beauty and your bounty. I am amazed by your beauty and your bounty.
morning to everybody. I'm taking over for a little bit for Deputy Speaker Lauren Legarda. She is currently unable to join us to start this program, but will join us later. Welcome to Stories for a Better Normal, Pandemic and Climate Pathways. I'd like to start, also probably the reason why she can't join us immediately is that we heard today that our former president, Noynoy Aquino, has passed on, and we'd like a moment of silence to honor our former president. Thank you. This month of June, we celebrate World Environment Day, World Oceans Day, Coral Triangle Day, and World Rainforest Day. There are a lot of opportunities to learn more about our planet, understand how ecosystems work, and change our lifestyles towards a more sustainable path. If you are joining us for the first time, let me tell you a bit about our program. Stories for a Better Normal started last May 2020 during the general community quarantine as a way to reach out to people who were just at home. In each episode, we highlight sustainable practices and share stories of people who have embraced sustainable lifestyles. This talk show also explains House Bill number 6864, or the Better Normal for the Workplace, Communities, and Public Spaces Act of 2020, that seeks to establish safety measures and protocols under the new normal. Let us help each other navigate through this new normal towards a better normal. I hear that there's already been counterpart bills filed by Senators Tolentino and Angara in the Senate, and let's hope this will see the light of day. Kami po ay natutuwang makasama kayo sa programang ito. Weekly webinar po ito na katulong ang Climate Change Commission, may suporta ng DepEd, Philippine Information Agency, Institute for Climate and Sustainable Cities, Climate Reality Project Philippines, and Mother Earth Foundation. Sundan po nyo kami sa Facebook. Kung sustainable lifestyle po ang hanap nyo, these are positive stories and stories that inspire everyone that there is a silent revolution going on sustainability, and that we're living it, and it's going to spread quickly. Siguro marami sa inyo ang nasasabik ng pumunta sa beach or spend a vacation in our beautiful islands. Saan ba ang paborito nyong beach destination tuwing summer? Share nyo naman sa amin. Just put a comment here on Facebook. But still, we are in this pandemic and traveling could be challenging. Allow us to bring the beach to you today on Stories for a Better Normal. What would tourism be like in the better normal? What kind of tourists should we become in the better normal? What are the opportunities for sustainability in our world-class tourist destinations now that we are undergoing a global reset? Will we see large-scale tourism, or will we see smaller-scale tourism take over in the space that is left? Join us. We have multi-awarded actress, Happy Islanders blogger, and young mom, Andy Eigenman, who is now based in Siargao, where she found a new home with her life partner and surfing champion, Vilmar Alipayo. Away from the lights, luxury, and city comforts, Andy enjoys her simple life with Vilmar and their 3 kids in a modern Bahay Kubo. Good morning, Andy. Welcome to Stories for a Better Normal.
Hi, good morning, attorney. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here today.
Yes, thank you. I'll ask you so many questions later. Next, we have Vice Mayor J.R. Coro of Del Carmen, Siargao Island, Surigao del Norte. Vice Mayor Alfredo J.R. Matugas Coro II was a 3-term municipal mayor of Del Carmen in Siargao Island. In his 11 years in public service, Del Carmen's partner-driven approach to development has resulted in improvements in health service delivery, educational reforms, resulting in better learning quality, sustainable fisheries management, community-based tourism development, and efficiency and effective local governance. Good morning, Vice Mayor Coro. Is he still here? Is he still already here? Our next guest is Jerlyn Rabaca, School Administrator at the Espoir School of Life Incorporated, which is a non-profit organization that provides free education to underprivileged children in the Philippines. She has worked on the ground as a school teacher, NSTP facilitator in De La Salle University, Manila, project-based program coordinator for Teach Philippines, and as technical assistant at the Department of Education. She joined in international education as a foreign teacher in Thailand Public School and an education volunteer in Thailand, Myanmar border refugee camp. She's currently a part of the second cohort Mindanao Youth Leadership Program and will complete the course in New Zealand in 2022. Good morning, Jerlyn.
Good morning, attorney. It's nice to
All right,
be here.
everybody
Thank
call
you
me
for
Ipat. It
inviting me.
doesn't sound like stories if it's all attorney. Next, we have Cara Rosas, the Executive Director of Local Lab, a grassroots NGO based in Siargao Island that aims to champion sustainability and empower the local community. Her passion stems from seeing the undertapped potentials of individuals in the community and realizing that working together with them at the grassroots level, their potential could be helped along and fully leveraged towards sustainable community. Before working with local, Cara volunteered in several organizations such as Grameen Foundation and International Care Ministries. She also helped start 2 social enterprises for stay-at-home moms and local artists. In line with better serving local farmers, she will also soon be taking her master's in agricultural economics. Good morning, Cara.
Morning. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, iPad.
Thank you. Welcome to Stories for a Better Normal. To our Facebook viewers, especially to our regular viewers and top fans, please comment below. Let's have a conversation. Share our FB live stream link to your friends so you can also get the sharer badge and join us in the beach today. So let's start with Andy. Andy, nagiging viral ang social media posts and vlogs mo with millions of views. Maraming na-inspire sa storya mo bukod sa pag-ibig. Ano ang nag-udyok sa'yo para manirahan sa Siargao?
Well, hindi naman po pag-ibig yung nag-udyok sa akin to move here. Actually, it was the island itself. Before meeting my fiancé, Philmar, I fell in love with the island first. And it's just so beautiful here. I would say repeatedly that, you know, this island to me is like paradise on earth. And I'm living my dream being here. Tapos getting to know more about what we have, what surrounds us here on the island, you know, makes me really proud and happy na dito ko piniling manirahan.
Paano mo nagagamit yung skills sa digital storytelling para makatulong sa environmental efforts sa Siargao?
Actually, bago pa po akong lumipat dito, nung nagta-travel pa lang po ako sa mga island and nag-stop na akong mag-make ng movies and ng TV shows, naging passionate ako about helping promote you know, helping raise awareness on how we can live a more sustainable life. Because, you know, I care so much about the environment, especially the ocean, because it's what has brought me so much joy over the years. And so when moving here to Siargao, I guess it was inevitable lang na mas maging focus ko itong isla na ito na subukang gamitin ang boses ko para makatulong. And to me, it's more about just wanting to be able to educate both the locals and the visitors that come here, and hope that I can influence them to be more mindful as people who, you know, live here, and as to be able to know how to preserve and care more for the island that they live in, and also for the tourists po, para ma-impluensyahan ko rin sila na ma-realize na itong islang ito ay hindi nila bahay at na sana tatuhin nila to with respect and with care. Pag pumupunta sila, you know, leave nothing but footprints, sabi nga nila.
Bukod sa vlogging, abala ka rin sa gardening. Anong mga tanim nyo dyan?
Actually, ayoko pong i-claim na abala ako sa gardening kasi yung fiancé ko po yung talagang gagawa ng lahat ng yan. Siya yung mas may alam sa gardening. But then, slowly, we're trying to build our own little, you know, organic farm so that we can just eat from and get our resources from around us. Homesteading. We have that goal of homesteading. So may mga kami, kamote, meron kaming yung mga basic pa lang, sile. We have our avocado trees growing, our banana trees which we have been harvesting bananas, the yummiest bananas from already. And we hope only to be able to expand that in the future. Pero sa ngayon, nakafocus muna kami sa aming mga anak since maliliit pa sila.
That's wonderful, no? And nothing compares to freshly harvested vegetables from your own garden. Talagang mas masarap yan. We really realize that agriculture has not been the kind of agriculture that are easiest to grow in our environment, no? Talagang naghahanap ng highland na hindi naman highland yung kinalalagyan natin, no? Isa pa, recently binenta mo daw yung sa mga kaibigan mo yung pre-love clothes mo para makapag-donate sa iyong health daycares at daycare centers. Paano mo naisip na yun ang gagawin, at did you get enough money as you imagined, enough for your projects?
Well, dun po sa fundraiser na nakalagay siya sa Facebook, so everybody is just free to donate however much they feel if they go to the Facebook page. It was created by Isla Medical Foundation. And it says there 400,000 yung kailangan. So medyo malayo-layo pa po kami. But then nevertheless, I still wanted to do my part and do what I could. Kasi nakikita ko po yung health center. Dinadala ko rin po yung youngest son ko doon para magpabakuna every month. And nalungkot lang po ako na kulang pa po kasi dito po yun sa aming barangay sa Katangnan. Kulang pa po kasi talaga sa kagamitan, and ako po, alam ko po na, I have the opportunity to go elsewhere for that, but then most of the locals here do not. And I figured I can just, share a little more of what I have so that I can help give them the same thing that, we would get if we were in Manila. And yung mga damit ko, kasi po kami ng fiancé ko, meron kaming goal na maging minimalist lang. Kasi, it's to help for achieve that sustainable lifestyle. And ang dami kong kagamitan bilang artista sa Manila, ganun. So naisip niya na, ba't di mo nalang ibenta? And medyo nahiya po ako kasi sabi ko, lalo na dito ko pa ibebenta, kukuhanan ko pa pera yung mga kapitbahay ko, yung mga locals. So naisip ko, ay sige, ganito na lang. Ibenta ko sa kanila, tapos yung kikitain namin, ibigay ko na lang doon. So naisip ko po na i-donate yung kinita naming 20,000 pesos. Tapos at the same time, nakapag-order na rin po ako ng mga ibang supplies para ma-donate sa health center.
Ang galing na pinapatronize mo rin yung dinodonasyonan mo, kasi I think our public the public services will be so better off if more people like you are using the public services, no? Kasi talagang magiging challenge for the public sector to start being better, no? Sana maabot natin ang 400,000, no? Nananawagan kami sa lahat ng nandito, ano? Sana naman may iba-ibang mga sektor na tumulong din para maabot yung 400,000. That doesn't sound like so much, di ba? Sa road building na lang, katiting lang yan. Tapos, meron ka bang malalim na at importanteng mga lessons na napagnilayan o nakuha sa pagbagal ng buhay dahil sa iyong pagtira sa isla?
Sobrang dami po. Kaya parang yung buhay ko, bukod sa pagbigay ng oras ko and dedication ko sa aking mga anak at saka sa aking fiancé, I'm really dedicated and giving all my time to yung very thing that, you know, gave me all of these realizations in life and that helped me change my life for the better. And that's the ocean and, you know, our environment and this very island, the very island of Siargao. My life was so different. Ibang-iba yung buhay ko bilang artista and yung kinalakihan ko. Nagpapasalamat ako sa magulang ko na they raised me to be very simple. But then, being in front of the limelight for 15 years, doon na po ako lumaki, parang doon na rin ako pinanganak. Napaka-big change po yung life of glamour sa pagtanggal ng lahat ng makeup at lahat ng mga alas para pumunta dito sa isla. And I definitely realized that, life, ang buhay, hindi yan nakabase sa kung gaano ka, or yung success mo in life, hindi yan nakabase sa kung gaano karami yung pera na makuha mo or sa kung gaano karaming oras ang maibuhos mo sa pagtatrabaho. Ang importante yung kasiyahan mo. What's important to me is to just always choose to be kind to yourself, to your loved ones, to everyone around you, whether it's human beings or the planet, the very planet that we live in that gives us life. And kaya ngayon yung pagiging simpleng buhay ko, kahit na yung ibang tao hindi pa nila masyado naiintindihan kung bakit masaya ako sa ganito. Pero, it makes my heart full to know that di natin kailangan ng maraming magagarang bagay para maging masaya. Nagsisimula yan sa atin, and meron tayong choice. Meron tayong choice para ibigay yan sa atin. So, katulad po ng sinabi ko sa fiancé ko nung bago pa lang kami nagde-date pa lang kami, bisita pa lang ako dito sa isla. Sinabi niya na parang dati sabi niya, baka pag pinakilala mo ako sa pamilya mo, hindi nila ako tatanggapin kasi taga-isla lang ako. And then sabi ko, don't ever say na taga-isla ka lang. Kasi para sa akin, kayo yung mayaman na tao sa mundo dahil mapalad kayong napapalibutan ng ganito kagandang kalikasan, yung dagat where, they can, hindi nga, parang sabi niya nga, looking back when we would go on dates and we would go around the island, parang wala siya masyadong ginastos para sa mga date namin. Pero hindi ko yun naramdaman. Kasi kakaiba yung mga aming nakakapunta kami sa ilalim ng dagat. He gets to go fishing for food for us to eat, the fruits and all of the fresh and healthy food around here, di ba? Pinoprovide lang po yun ng nature sa kanila. And kaya naging passionate din ako na tulungan sila kasi alam ko na hindi nila alam yung kung may nagagawa man sila para hindi maging mapangalaga sa kanilang surroundings. It's because they don't know. They don't know what to do. It's not because they don't care. And so I felt that I can do my part and teach them how to do that, from teaching all of the kids here in the neighborhood when they come by to the house, how to segregate their trash, from little things like that. Hindi parang sana mas makatulong pa po ako, pero sa ngayon, kung ano yung makakaya ko, yun na lang muna yung binabahagi sa kanila.
That's very inspiring, Andy. Siguro marami sa atin ang kailangang matutunan talaga na yung kaligayahan tsaka yung kindness. Kaligayahan ay nagmumula sa kindness sa ibang tao at tsaka sa pamilya at hindi sa material things o sa pera. Importanteng lesson na ang hirap na alamin kung talagang nakukuha ng mga tao. Pero the pace of life and the peace that you can have. Sana marami pang makarealize niyan. Next, let's listen to, just chime in, Andy. I'm sure there are a lot of things from your life now that you will feel like you want to share anytime during these stories. Now, let us listen to Vice Mayor JR of Del Carmen, Siargao. Vice Mayor, pakibahagi naman sa amin ang ecotourism model ng Del Carmen, lalo na ngayon under the Better Normal.
Maradyaw na buntag sa tanan. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Attorney Ibat, magandang umaga po.
Good morning.
Maraming salamat for this opportunity to share our story to Senator Lauren Legarda, the Climate Change Commission, sa mga kasamahan ko pong nag-present. Una, mahirap pong sundan si Miss Andy. Kasi maganda yung kwento niya. Yung kwento ko parang trabaho. But nonetheless, we're very honored and privileged to share our story and our experience in creating ecotourism, and of course, we call a social tourism, a model that's very inclusive and equitable for Del Carmen and Siargao Island. So Ngayong umaga po, i-share po namin yung ang C+ at saka Del Carmen. Tapos yung flagship program namin, ang tawag po ay Siargao It Up, the Del Carmen Mangrove Management through Social Tourism. And of course, some insights on how do we move forward to attract more people to be more interested in the discourse regarding sustainable tourism at saka social tourism. So next po. So, unang papasalamat talaga kami kay Senator Loren Legarda at sa kanyang push for the Inay Pass Law. Laking tulong po yun. The Siargao Islands Protected Landscapes and Seascapes, or C+, as it's officially recognized, now a protected landscapes and seascapes. In fact, we are the largest seascapes and landscapes in the entire country at 271,000 hectares. Our biodiversity at saka natural assets po catapulted Siargao to be declared by Condé Nast as the 2019 #1 island in the world. Bago po sumikat ang Siargao, ang Del Carmen po already led Siargao's campaign for sustainable and social tourism initiatives. Next po. So ang Del Carmen po, just to highlight, it's one of the 9 municipalities of Siargao Island. And located in of course, nasa Mindanao po kami, nasa northeastern part ng Mindanao. But we are beside the 3rd deepest part of the oceans in the world. Kasi map of the oceans po, kailangan sabihin namin yun. Yung Philippine Deep po ay katabing-katabi ng Siargao Islands. Being part of C+, ang Del Carmen po embraced social tourism practices since we started developing tourism as an industry. Nauna po si General Luna sa tourism, sumunod lang kaming sa Del Carmen. Next po. The Del Carmen Mangrove Forest is the largest contiguous mangrove forest in the Philippines with 4,871 hectares in 14 barangays of Del Carmen. We proudly share po that since 2018, wala na kaming mangrove cutting. As in, everybody embraced already the idea of mangroves, despite being the largest mangrove forest na napaintindi namin sa lahat ng taga Del Carmen at mga bisita the value of protecting the mangroves. And in doing so, na-reduce din po namin ang illegal fishing by 98%. Mga ilang tao na lang talagang matitigas ang naiiwan. And what happened was we were able to establish a culture of conservation first before tourism. Next po. So now we focus on social tourism to connect people with nature and with Siargao. Social tourism po, just to educate everyone, is a form of tourism that brings travelers to local communities with the goal of not only gaining pleasure from the experience but also contributing to places they're visiting. With this parent program, kikwento po namin yung mga iba't ibang initiatives po natin ng social tourism sa Del Carmen. Next po. Pinakauna is that we develop an ecotourism industry that capitalizes on our biggest asset, which is the mangrove forest and the vast municipal waters. Our Nowhere to Cover story boasted of boat tours who were previously illegal fishers. Yun po yung ating mga boat guide, mga dynamite fishers yan dati, at saka illegal mangrove cutters. And now we have a community-based tourism that employs at least 1,000 families on rotational basis. Ibang-iba po yung model namin. We don't employ individuals, we employ families. Our community started investing in homestay businesses, food and restaurant enterprises, and transport services. Yung bago pong ekonomiya, pre-COVID, we were able to have 146 plus boat operators, 150% increase in business permits. We were able to establish a new commercial center, a Fresco Mall, and we had an average of 700 to 900 visitors a day. On the local level po, sa LGU naman, we increased our revenue from $6,000 to $300,000 annually. So yung mga dagdag na kita ng local government na tutulong natin, para ma-address yung other social determinants ng ating mga dating illegal fisher tsaka illegal mangrove cutter, kasama na ang health services, education services, etc. Next po. So una pong practice natin, we regularly conduct mangrove rehabilitation and cleanup as part of our tourism activities with large groups. Ito pong nasa picture is with Welllife Company. Recent lang po ito, last month lang to actually. Pumasok sila Siargao. We agreed on a long-term program with the company to support and protect 10 hectares of mangrove forest. Next po. Ang aming din pong mga tao, since we already have a culture of conservation first before tourism, we have started protecting wildlife. Yung pong nasa picture nung January 31, 2021, na Sunday edition ng Inquirer, yung nasa front page ay ang aming pong mga tatlong Iron Ladies, ang aming pong tourism officer, Menro, at saka barangay captain po ng isang island barangay. Nag-release po sila ng turtles. We were able to save more than 27 already as of today na turtles po back in the wild. We are also pushing for the reintroduction of the Philippine kakatu, which is previously endemic to Siargao Islands. And of course, we have learned to live with the saltwater crocodiles na ang pinakamarami pong wild population is nasa Del Carmen po. Next po. So lahat po ng ito, ng mga wildlife, may enjoy nyo po sa Del Carmen. Of course, ESPA will be sharing the story later, but this is part of our program to allow social tourism kung ano yung gusto mo. So kung gusto mo education, we have ESPA. It is the first international school for the poor in the Gawad Kalinga village in Del Carmen, and I believe Ms. Jerlyn will be in a better position to discuss this later. Next po. The whole of Del Carmen and Siargao Islands campaigned on ecological waste management at regulation po ng single-use plastic. So lahat-lahat po ito, and we're very grateful for the support of the civic society dyan po sa General Luna and the different municipalities. Nagkatotoo na to with the Sea Movement, we have Nature Kids of Siargao and other organizations doing upland cleaning. So ito po yung ginagawa nilang activities, and also with DNR po, we do a lot of underwater cleanup para talagang protected ang ating mga karagatan po. Next po. So septage management po in Sugba Lagoon, we use a technology called EcoSep developed by DOST. So yun po yung pinaka-reason why Sugba Lagoon remains clean. And of course, we'd like to present also our Biosphere Protection Program. This covers everything. Ito po yung totoong programa natin sa environment, wherein it's shared with various organizations and tourists, and they're free to participate. So the aim of the Biosphere Protection Program is to maximize the utilization of our natural resources sustainably as climate adaptation support services to enable other sectors and enhance ecosystem-based adaptation strategies. Next po. So pinakauna po natin ginawa is to make sure that we understand the species and the ecosystems we are protecting. So we have conducted researches together with the DOST, NRCP, and DNR. Ito po is a most recent photo of some of the species that we have identified, and we're happy to share that there are several that are new to science. So kakaiba talaga ang biodiversity ng Siargao. At lahat po ng ito, i-incorporate po namin to create a very different Siargao experience po later on. Next po. So ang Siargao, kagaya po ng sinabi ni Ms. Ali kanina, we're bountiful in terms of marine resources at saka agriculture. So we want to make sure that there is a sustainable fishery and marine supply chain. So we're now establishing a multi-species hatchery in one of the barangays of Del Carmen. It is the only one in Siargao Islands. And we are doing mariculture platforms. And also, we have been managing marine protected areas together with organizations like RARE, SICAT, CIBOL, para po yung mga tao, as Ms. Andy has mentioned, will be most educated in terms of how to also protect marine resources. Next po. So we would also like to share that tourists can also participate in farming. So may experiential po tayong farming. We adopted this program from San Isidro. We have legislated it at Del Carmen. So we're now developing 20 community gardens, ang part po ng Hardin ng Pagbabago program. Next po. And ito po yung ating flagship naman for climate adaptation. Papasalamat rin ulit kami kay Senator Loren because of the People's Survival Fund. Del Carmen was one of the first that was able to obtain and access the fund. Now we are almost completing the Siargao Climate Field School for farmers and fisher folks. I think the slide went back. And malapit na po siya. And DOST, we're very happy to share po with you, Attorney Ipat, and of course to Senator Loren. DOST has funded water testing facility. So Siargao will have our own water testing facility inside the Climate Field School. So we are assured that even our local resources will regularly be tested na magagamit talaga namin siya, and that it will be integrated with our watershed program para malaman na yung iniinom namin tubig, ginagamit namin tubig, is suitable for human consumption. Next po, last few slides. Ang tanong is, how might we sustain lahat nitong social and sustainable tourism interest? Yun yung ating tanong sa sarili. We understand that there are different behaviors of our tourist base. So, ginawan din namin ng paraan. Next po. So una, nagpauso kami ng Run for the Mangroves. So it became a racecation strategy. You come here, you really run with the mangroves and for the mangroves kasi ito lang yung lugar wherein you can conduct a marathon na katabing-katabi mo yung mangrove forest. And together with that, we raised the awareness and because of all these campaigns, medyo ang Del Carmen po is now recognized in terms of mangrove management from both local and international organizations, being a pioneer in terms of campaigning appropriate mangrove management programs. Next po, siyempre tinatarget din natin yung mga millennials, mga bata-bata. So we host the largest music festival of Siargao. So siyempre lahat po ito pre-COVID kasi bawal ngayon. To versus illegal drugs and of course conduct of support of sustainable tourism and syempre peace. Nasa Mindanao pa rin tayo. Kailangan ikampanya talaga yan. So ito po yung ating annual po ito na music festival. So we roughly have around 5,000 people that participate in this campaign. Next po. Right now, we are experimenting the idea of marine conservation plus blended finance with the SMILE project with WWF, Island Life and Water Corporation, and Charelco, our electric cooperative. We are building a 24/7 hybrid power in the off-grid island of Halian. It is an island already located in the Pacific Ocean but part of Del Carmen. We include marine conservation and protection as part of the indicators in sustaining the power supply. So yung ating pong Halian Island is now experiencing sea level rise and land displacement. So our solution is to really educate them. Thus the need for 24/7 power generation. And lastly po, we also launched a Blue Economy Initiative with the Climate Change Commission in 2018. Right now po, we're calling this program the Blended Finance for Sustainable Growth and Equitable Development using blue carbon as a potential game changer. This is now supported by the Earth Security Group of UK and the Asian Institute of Management, as we will be developing rural-based solutions for sustainable financing para hindi kailangan na mag-urbanize kasi lahat naman ngayon, because of the pandemic, everybody now wants to move back. And we want to make sure that when people move back to the rural communities are able to retain its beauty and its values. And with that po, maraming salamat. Last slide. Just want to say salamat Karajaw sa tanan and Attorney Ipat again. salamat for the opportunity, and to Senator Lauren for allowing us to share our story. This is a picture of Del Carmen and the mangrove forest.
Talagang naka-ensconce yung inyong poblasyon sa mga mangroves, ano po. Very, very inspiring, Vice Mayor Coro. Actually, nakapag-kayak na po ako sa inyong mangroves, and I was very happy to say that it was a great experience. No? Lahat po ng sinabi nyo, parang lahat demonstrative of green philosophies and sustainability directions, yung interdisciplinary, pagpo-provide ng basic needs through water treatment and energy, lahat sustainable, tapos yung partnerships, no, intangible benefits, very, very inspiring. Ang sarap ulitin yung inyong presentation at hugutin lahat ng lessons of green principles and sustainability from that. No? Localization and very, very specific conservation measures na nakatutok talaga dun sa resources nyo, no? Hindi generic. Paano po natin aatakihin yung pagbangon ulit pagkatapos ng pandemya sa ating small-scale tourism? Meron na po ba kayong mga ideas kung anong uri ng tourism ang ikababangon, Vice Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. Yun talaga yung tutok namin since last year pa po. When the pandemic started, as early as February kami nag-ready. By June, naka-ready na po yung aming recovery strategy for tourism. In fact, yung ating tourism sa Del Carmen opened as early as June last year. So dahan-dahan po nababalik. What we wanted to make sure is that pag open po ng tourism natin, we have to make sure that the behaviors that we were able to establish for our communities, yung mga wala ng mangrove cutting, wala ng illegal fishing, ay masustain. So siniguro po muna namin yun. So wala tayong issue of hunger sa ating mga tao. Pangalawa is we have to start opening up new grounds for tourism. So together with some investors, we were able to convince some of the resorts in General Luna, actually doon na po unang nagkampanya, to transform some of their resorts into workspaces. We're very happy na meron isang talagang nag-open na call center. Tawag na namin doon sa campaign is Barefoot ICT or Barefoot BPO. We have launched this ICT program since 2016, pero ngayon lang siya nag-take off talaga. So we are looking at ICT as another venue to generate long-term tourists. Pangatlo po is because of the Climate Field School, we are now looking into learning tourism. We also host the only state college in the island. So pag pinagsama po natin silang dalawa, we can create educational or learning tourism with research. And maganda po doon kasi nasimulan na namin, it's integrated with our core values as a community. Meron pong potential to attract several other, let's say, students, and there be long-term staying. So yun pong aming habol. We will be entertaining students coming from other countries, and now we have requested the college to open up. Kasi we have to really transform tourism, not just parang short-term visits. They have to stay, they have to connect with the people to understand why lives in the islands are like this and very different from people living in cities.
Ang galing talagang umimbento kayo ng bago para hindi kayo nakikikompete sa kung saan-saan lang, no? Kasi downward spiral pag pare-pareho ng offerings, no? Long-term and educational tourism, that's very inspiring. So specifically po yung Climate Field School, will anybody be able to enroll? Kunyari graduate lang ng senior high school, graduate lang ng elementary, because it's for fisher folk and farmers. Ano po magiging requirements at anong tatapusin nila sa Climate Field School? Yan po ba ay short term or paano po?
Sa ngayon po, ang tutok po natin is short-term courses para may immediate, pero long-term support. Kasi ang binibigay po natin sa kanila is an opportunity to understand climate behavior and how you will be farming or fishing with a specific climate, projected climate situation. So, pag tinuruan ka na namin paano, let's say, magbasa ng forecast, mag-forecast ng climate, ano dapat itanim mo? And that will change because even if we do 30-year projections for the climate, hindi rin natin talaga masisiguro what will happen in the next decade.
Right.
We can only be assured at least for the next three years. Yan yung yung probability of your estimates. Pero yung 30-year projection hindi. So para siyang continuous learning process. Yan yung approach po namin sa climate adaptation. So if we do this approach, it makes farming and fishing very scientific, becoming very sexy, and at the same time, we might be able to invite more younger people to invest themselves in farming and fishing. And there we get to achieve our food security despite changing climate.
Yes, learning from localized information. Very, very nice po. Yun pong climate change impacts tulad ng sea level rise. Okay kaya po yung mangroves nyo? Kumusta ang adaptation programs nyo for the pandemic?
Sa pagdating po sa climate with the pandemic, we are already conducting a lot of strategies po. Kaya we have looked into carbon financing as one of the strategies para po yung mga locals will have enough finances to support potential risks that will be brought about by sea level rise, by coral bleachings, at marami pa pong ibang pwedeng mangyari. We cannot really pinpoint kung ano yung posibleng mangyari. That's why we focus on capacity building para they have options of what they want to do. Pangalawa is always food security. Pag meron tayong food security, marami tayong na-address na societal issues. Lower crime rate, better peace of mind, options for families, for education. So marami po. Tapos we integrated our issues sa klima po. Ini-integrate po namin with DepEd. Pinapasok namin sa curriculum para naiintindihan ng next generation kasi sila yung makakaramdam ng mga sea level rise na yan. Hindi naman yung generation po natin attorney, kundi yung sunod. So they have to be ready and they have to understand what issues are they going to face. And by doing that, we hope that we have given them enough capacity for them to start challenging. And in fact po, I think sa discussion mamaya ni Ms. Jerlyn, she will talk about how do we build capacity for the locals so that we have enough experts, local experts. At it starts po with ESPWA.
Thank you very much, Vice. It's truly the direction to go. Nakikita po natin na ang product nyo talaga ay knowing how to respond, no? Sharing the capacity to respond rather than telling them what to do to respond, di ba? Kasi mag-iiba. So kung alam natin paano magre-react doon sa pag-iiba, yun po yung product talaga na malalaman nila sa Climate Field School, ano, at saka dito siguro sa ESPWA. This time we have a teacher. Let's learn from Jerlyn Rabaca, School Administrator at the ESPWA School of Life. Teacher Jerlyn, can you share with us your experience and how you started this campaign?
Okay, good morning, IPAT. So thank you for inviting us here. And so I will talk about the organization that I'm working with. So we started the organization last 2016. So this is a 5-year-old organization. And of course, with an approval and support of DepEd and different government agencies and LGU Del Carmen, who was the one to provide us with the land, we were able to make this project reality. So ESPWA means hope. Hope for the children, hope for the families and the communities we are helping. And Siargao is the home of our first school in the Philippines. With currently, we have 100 households in that area. In the project itself, we have used 2 solar lights, which are sufficient to supply natural light inside the classroom so that we will not be using electricity during the day. Next is we have shuttered or a rotating windows, which can be opened at different angles to supply the level of natural ventilation. Because there's a problem of having a water source in the area, we also collect rainwater in a 2,000-liter tank, supply water for the sink, the kitchen, and the farming. And we also uses compost toilets to guarantee minimal impact on the environment. And after 5 years, it will be harvested and it will be processed then it will become a organic fertilizer for the farm that we are working on. Currently, we are doing tutorials and limited face-to-face reading classes. So aside from making sure that they are learning, we are also taking care of their health and nutrition by feeding them with healthy snacks and lunch prepared by their parents. So education is free of charge. However, parents of the students are committed to help in cooking, in farming, in doing assistance in teaching and maintenance. So parents' involvement is crucial to the success of the project that we have. Apart from the academic subjects that we are also teaching sets of skills and values that will be useful in their daily life and for them to be work-ready individuals and not just academic ready. So inside the classroom, we'll make sure that we teach them how to be responsible and stepping up on the roles given to them, such as you can see in the photo, we have board monitor, assistant teachers, line leaders, so they become leaders of their own inside the classroom. But we also need to make sure that they are safety because this time we're having a pandemic, so we're giving free mask, face shield, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, alcohols that are provided inside the classroom. For their snacks, we are serving fruits. And for their lunch, we are serving vegetables and proteins. So here you can see that our students are enjoying their boiled banana snacks. So currently, we have already provided 12,225 lunch and 24,450 snacks for this school year. So to continuously value the food that they are eating and the environment they are enjoying right now, we launched a gardening program for the students where they grow their own plants with the help of their parents. But due to the pandemic, currently, it's their parents who are continuously planting in the school garden and the community garden. So due to some restrictions, the students cannot eat together in school. So we are bringing their lunches in their houses and we gave them an eco bag so that this can be their bags for their lunch boxes. And the eco bag was created by our women's group. We also put effort for the kids to be visited by different professionals to open their minds into different experiences and professions to dream big and dream high. So currently, I had them experience being tutored by a grade 3 student studying in LaSalle and same grade level as theirs for them to see and be inspired on that they can do more. They can actually do something like this also. They can teach their classmates, they can teach their siblings. It's like a kids for kids activity. So in this pandemic, we didn't forget to give assistance also to the community on their livelihood. Because currently, 35% of the mothers are farmers and 49% are vendors. So while the fathers, 36% of them are construction workers. So we did some seasonal catering services, gardening, and small livestock businesses for them by partnering to state universities who can give them skills training. While for the father, we prioritize them to work as a labor and construction workers in construction projects that we are doing. So currently, we are building our next 5 classrooms. And then, since the community has a little to none access to water, we put effort to look for sponsors to build a solar water system for the community so that they don't need to pay every month of the water bills. So the construction is still ongoing, but the fathers are the one who are doing this so that they'll have source of livelihood as well. The water will also improve and help their health and hygiene. Of course, household work such as laundry, because if they have clean water, they have clean clothes. cleaning, dishwashing, and of course, during the summer, this is one of the most common problem that we are encountering. So most commonly, the plants are dying because we don't have enough water to water the plants. And lastly, we teach our kids also to how to save money. So each of them are working hard to open their bank accounts and make sure that they put in something in their bank account, may it be 1 peso, 2 pesos, and then it can be helpful for them when they turn 18 years old, they can be able to withdraw that money to start if they wanted to go to college or if they wanted to start a business. So why are we all doing these things? So the biggest why of ESPWA is that with all the effort that we are doing, our own hope is to make meaningful changes in the life of the children and cultivate them for the future. And one day, when they become successful, they will come back and help develop the village, Del Carmen, or Siargao Islands, or maybe the nation. Because we believe that hope starts with the children and with the right education.
Wow, thank you very much, Jerlyn. Siguro maraming may gustong gumaya, no? Pwede ba kunyari regular school, suddenly thinks, oh, we can have a sustainability pattern now, and how do they start? Yun kasi yung mahirap yung transition from something before to something like yours because of their inspiration from your experience. Paano natin ipapakalat yan sa ibang schools sa Siargao o sa Del Carmen? How do they start?
Yeah. I think IPAT, with the help also of the LGU, because as I said earlier, it was this project became a reality when we got an approval and support of the DepEd, of course, the LGU, of course. And right now, actually, the local government of Del Carmen is working on this, that by 2022, we will be opening this, because currently the beneficiaries of the program are the people inside the Gawad Kalinga village and the neighborhoods. But the LGU saw the opportunity that because of the end goal, that we wanted to train these kids and have leadership programs with them and teach them environmental sustainability. Why not let's open it to the whole of Del Carmen? So the vice mayor and the mayor are working on this right now with the local school board, that hopefully by 2022, we will be opening this also for other kids around Siargao. We start first with one community at a time, because of course, we wanted it to be escalated in different areas nationwide, but I believe that for it, we need to see first the product and the impact that we are making in one community. And so the LGU has been talking to the local school board already, because we really wanted to have an impact that will go beyond what are expected to our graduates. And our hope really is that we will be able to teach the students and instill in their mind that I will do this, and one day when I become successful, I will go back to my hometown. So yeah, it would start really with the support really of the government agencies that we are in.
Thank you, Jerlyn. Paboritong quote daw ng ESPWA, the school will be a place for wisdom and happiness. Sinabi rin niya ni Andy kanina na happiness naman talaga ang hanap natin. Meron ka na bang experiences na nagpakita sa'yo na nakapagdala kayo ng happiness sa mga batang sinusubaybayan nyo na products ng ESPWA?
Actually, ma'am, the kids really are very excited kasi ang house lang naman nila is 1 minute walk away from our school. So very excited sila every day. Before really, we see that ang taas ng rate ng absenteeism. So we saw that bakit kaya parang laging nag-absent yung kids? Ano kayang naging problema? So it turned out that most of the kids really wanted experiential learning. So that's what we are giving to them right now. It's more on community-based learning. So nakakalabas sila sa classrooms nila. And also we're giving them the ability to lead in their own classroom. So they can experience being teacher assistant in a day. So that's why they're very excited to go inside the school. And of course, if you are a board monitor, ikaw yung magsusulat sa board. So feel mo na parang teacher ako, or ako yung magpapalinya sa mga kaklase ko. So ako yung leader. And then, of course, we target also the different learning abilities of the kids. We don't only focus on ito yung traditional na pagtuturo. But we also cater on if the kids are visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So we make sure that we can target kung ano yung mga gusto nilang matutunan because we don't teach the curriculum, no? We teach the children.
So, makikita natin intangibles talaga yung importante, no? Hindi yung material things that will give eventual success and happiness. Konti pa lang ang time, no? So wala pa kayong products na nag-high school na, di ba? Pero dun sa mga natapos or maunan yung mga naging estudyante, kumusta naman sila? Anong mga napapansin nyo tungkol sa kanila?
Yes po, because it's a very long
process.
Project and plan talaga. It would take us 13 years to see the product of the school because it's from nursery to grade 12. So right now we are on our grade 4. We'll be opening grade 4 sa opening po ng klase. And doon naman sa first is really before there's a high number talaga of absenteeism. But ngayon, yung big problem namin is paano bumili ng maraming medal. Kasi nga, wala nang nag-absent. So but that's a very good problem. So yun po yung isang tangible na nakikita talaga namin. And then another one, the parents. So we have 14% of the people in the community did not finish elementary school. So the mind setting, parang mas importanteng magtrabaho agad yung mga bata kaysa mag-aral for them because they need to be practical. But here, nakita namin for the past 5 years, nagbago yung mindset nila. Their mindset changed that importante pala talaga yung pag-aaral because we are also training them na how to read also because some of them are illiterate as well. So,
even the parents.
Yes, we have 14% po that did not finish elementary school. So some of them doesn't know how to read, doesn't know how to write. And the teachers of ESPWA came up with a project to also teach the parents, no, during the parent-teacher conferences, that the parents would also learn how to read this so that they can also teach the kids. Another thing is we go beyond also. Some of our students doesn't have birth certificate. So right now, that's very tangible change na meron na sila ngayon. We can enroll them in the LIS of DepEd and very true na yung mga data doon kasi may birth certificate na sila. And another thing is going beyond education po siguro, they become leaders. Kahit ganito sila kabata, they learn how to value leadership. They've learned also how to value environment. They've learned how to value hard work. So more than that, more than being academic ready, we want them to be work ready individuals soon. So,
thank you so much, Jerlyn. It's very inspiring. Ang susunod na magbabahagi ng kanyang kaalaman ay si Cara Rosas, Executive Director ng Local Lab Siargao. Cara?
Hi, thanks so much for having me. So I'm Cara. So basically, like what Local really is. So basically Local is like a grassroots organization based in the north of Siargao. So that's 1 hour away from the heart of the tourism center. So General Luna. So what we really try to aspire here is we want to empower the community, and our ethos more than anything is really for the local community to feel like this is something their project and that we want to empower them and really want to work together with them and side by side so that we could really achieve sustainable change. So essentially, Local has three pillars. So here we have culture, education, and livelihood. And the reason why we came up with this is, for example, like culture. In the tourism industry, like you feel like there's so many new resorts coming in, so many people migrating to live in this island home of ours. And we wanted to preserve the culture and show the locals like, hey, this is something that we want to talk about. And we want to show that, for example, like weaving and farming is a option that you guys could have in the future. So some of our projects here where we have a lot of things related to culture. Second, we also have education, and like being a Tily Island community, we acknowledge that there's so much potential for these locals, and that giving them classes that we have, we're able to connect them with different individuals and give them things like that. And lastly, we also have livelihood where we have where we support farmers and weavers and different things. So I'll go on to that later. But really, like the story of how Local started was we started as a tiny snack bar where we wanted to build a place where locals can go and also like tourists, and also something that's affordable for everyone to come. So this local snack bar, like we started first as a social enterprise, not even as an NGO yet. So here we had people come in and interact with the community, and even like the pricing we had, like if you're a local from the island, you get like a Taga Isla discount. And from opening the snack bar, we realized like what the problem in the island was, that we wanted to source locally from the island, but then as we tried to find like more farmers from the island, we found that they didn't really have a place to sell their produce. And that's why we realized, okay, what can we do and how can we help the farmers here? And so first we acknowledge that there are three different livelihoods here in the island aside from the tourism industry. So those are the farmers, and then we have the weavers and the fishermen too. And what we wanted to do was like we really wanted to understand what the root cause of the problem was. So we set up meetings with the farmers, and that's when we understood, okay, the farmers here, especially in the north of Siargao, where there was not so much tourism, like what they would do is that they would do saroy. So that's when they would bike around and carry their produce and try to sell it to as much people as possible. But of course, like that takes so much time out of their day, and they can't reach the market or the demand if the person's not there to buy their goods. So what we wanted and what we noticed was there's a lack of a community marketplace where they can put up. So the first big project of Local that we had was the Local Tabo. So here, what we wanted to do was like we wanted to renovate an old structure in the heart of Burgos and show them, oh, you could still utilize all like the structures here, like preserving the culture. And so this is the Local Tabo. So what essentially is it's a community space where farmers could sell their produce and the artisans also. And here, what we wanted to do was like we wanted to connect to support the local community and support the local small-scale farmer. And here on our platform, that they could bring their produce here and we help them sell it. And how we do that is also like we connected with this one farm, and then after like that's when we branch out and we started to connect to more farms. So now we work with a network of over 15 farms, and they all provide here in a Local Tabo. So here, this is how the Local Tabo looks inside. And one thing that like I really want to mention is that all our farmers do natural farming systems. And that really ties back to the local community because we want to show them like even their traditions from years ago, like from generations ago, where we didn't use commercial farming, such as like commercial farming where you use fertilizers and pesticides. We wanted to show, no, you could use everything and you could utilize everything here in the island. And even as for weaving, like when you see other shops selling like t-shirts of like things that say Siargao Island, we wanted to show the weavers, hey, look, we can preserve your culture here in this manner too. So here, this is a picture of our farming network where we recently also ATI accredited. So we give farming lessons, and we give every Tuesday we have meetings with our farmers for them to understand and to teach them new techniques, and also for the farmers to interact with each other. And like what I said a while ago, like if someone wants to enter our farm network and sell into our Tabo, they do have to undergo or like promise to transition into natural farming. And that way, like that's also our part to give back, to try to like source locally from the island and also like lower the carbon footprint instead of like importing goods. Because now currently like Siargao, only 2% of the 2% of everything provided here is sourced from the island, while 98% is actually imported. And like this was this really worried us because we were like, there's so many local farmers here, how come we're not helping them out? So we recently just opened our second Local Tabo also in a neighboring municipality in San Isidro. And we're also about to open in General Luna, where we'll be able to connect to more businesses and resorts. And really what we want is to to directly connect to the farmers, to where the demand is and to where the market is. So here also in the bottom, you could see like even our packaging, we use banana leaves to make sure that we're as ethical and as environmental as possible. So also here, like what I mentioned about the weaving, is that we wanted to show the locals that they can impart their culture even into tourists. So that's why we have weaving classes where when the weavers host classes in our area, they get all the income from that, because we want to show like this is a sustainable thing that you could do. And at the end of the day, more than anything, we want to show them, like to empower them, to show them they could teach something and impart something on the community. We also collaborated like with several businesses where they help our weavers, and like on the picture above, you could see there's this one local brand that taught the weavers, like collaborated with fashion designers to create these weave products. So more than anything, like what we really want to do is to preserve the local culture here in Siargao. And if you could see, like this is the second floor of the Local Tabo. So the first floor is a vegetable market, and the second floor is a community space where we host even different lessons and inspiring sessions. So what we have also is like in the second space where we have children in the community come and teach different things. So we this is called Local Inspire session. So here above you could see we had like a CNN newscaster, Mitzi Moromeo, come and teach the kids about storytelling. We had some artists teach them about creating art out of cutouts and recycled materials. Here we also have a journalism club where every Saturday the kids meet, and we invite different hosts and teachers to show them, like to tell a story about their community. And here we even had like a guest come and teach them like science experiments and science projects. And like what I really want to impart is that at the end is that we have like tourism, like what Mayor Cora was saying earlier, where you want to show them that like they could also impart and learn something from the community. And what we want is like education not to be a two-way, like not to be just a one-way street. We want it to be a two-way street where the kids could also show that they're helping, that they're teaching their teachers something, and at the end like they're also learning something, because this is how you get involvement and also how like you're able to empower them. So going to that, so we also realized like in this tourism industry, like we wanted to build something sustainable and an eco-accommodation. So Local has also built like in our social enterprise wing, we built an eco-accommodation where we had guest stay. And what we really love about like Siargao is that people from all different walks of life come in and like all interact together and like just network together. And even from this day, we had long-term, like we found volunteers for our organization to help out and show and impart something to the community. So here, we had two of our guests during the pandemic when they realized, okay, like the local community isn't earning as much. And what they did was they started a plant nursery a plant nursery where they donated seedlings, thousands of seedlings to the neighboring barangays of Burgos. And the second one is like when we had a hairdresser stay in our accommodations, and she wanted to help out the community, so she cut the whole community's hair. Another time we had an English teacher stay in our accommodation, and she taught the kids English to farmers. Here also, like one of our projects was like we wanted to embed culture into the local community of Burgos. So we invited street artists to come here to Siargao and also paint all over the town. And like one of the prompts that we had was that they had to paint something where the community could strongly identify with. So for a week, they spent a week with the community and they painted things that the community identified with. So in the left, you could see that this is our fish market that we helped build for the fishermen, and things about farmers too. So at the end, what we really want here at Local is to show, like to create a new way of life and to show that sustainability can happen and it's not that difficult, that it's through networking and through empowering the local community, working alongside them rather for them, you're actually able to commit like sustainable change. And more than anything, what we in Local want to show is that anyone really could help out, and as long as you're committed and you believe in what you're doing, and the locals also want to help out, and that's how you can make a change.
Cara, that's really something, really integrating with what is there in the islands and what the people want, and the art and culture. The three pillars of Local Lab are kabuhayan, kultura, at edukasyon. How do you merge these three? Do you have school programs for the livelihood? It seems like these three are very, very important but are treated separately by current society. Paano mo tinatahi?
So most of our projects, that's also what we want to show, that all these three, like culture, livelihood, and education, can interact. So going back, for example, our community market space, Local Tabo. First, like culture comes in when you see that, okay, here, like Siargao is a tourism industry, but then culture ties back into the livelihood. Like we had farmers on the island how many years ago? We had weavers and we had fishermen. And here, that's like where we're trying to preserve that culture through education, through teaching the new generation that the natural farming techniques, that you don't have to go into commercial farming where you use so many pesticides, where you use so many fertilizers, that what our ancestors had before is something that we could still use now. And especially like in an island community like this, what we want to prove is that we can be a sustainable island and we can be self-sufficient. And that's what we're doing through our livelihood program. So that's farming and helping these farmers through giving them a space to sell. And also like tying into like the tourism industry, where we already work with several businesses where we created like some sort of subscription basis where every week the businesses supply from our farmers. So what we want is to really remove the middleman and help these farmers out at the end of the day. We also do have like our, what I said, like our Local Inspire sessions where we had, where we show that the several kids that this is what you can learn, exposing them to different cultures. Like Siargao, you know, it's like a travel destination, so everyone really comes here, and like people from super different backgrounds. But what we want to show is like, even if you're here for maybe like a week, you could like impart your knowledge and spend the time with the community. And that's what we really want to show, that anyone can help make a difference. And like if you want sustainable change, you really have to make the community believe in it. And for example, like during our Tuesday meetings with the farmers, we also meet with both the producers and the consumers for them to interact and to say like, okay, like why are these the prices? Why are you selling these farm prices at this price? And from the consumer side also, like realizing like, okay, like the what it takes to like build and to plant all these things.
That's great. Wow, I'm here. Yes, IPAT, don't leave IPAT because I'm in between several meetings, but I've been listening in and out, but I have been here, and congratulations. Nakakatuwa ang ginagawa ng lokal. Nakakatuwa. Ang galing. And you have successfully shown how during the pandemic, with all the limitations, kaya ipagsama ang nature at culture at pangkabuhayan sa mga nano-enterprise, ni hindi mga micro nga at small, nano-enterprises, na there is such a thing indeed as sustainable travel, sustainable tourism, and ethical behavior, treating our farmers' produce fairly and ethically. IPAT, you've been doing so well. Pwede pala akong mag-zoom na sa iba every Thursday. But Cara, ikaw ba ay, pardon me if this has been asked by Attorney Ipat, tubong Siargao ka ba or lumipat ka lang dyan?
No, I actually just moved like a few years ago. So like my story also was like I was working in several NGOs, but I really wanted to be in the grassroots community. And that's when I found this farm in Siargao, and I said, okay, like it's really when you're with the community that you're able to understand the root issues and exposing yourself to them, like hearing their everyday stories, their struggles, and really just building a relationship with them. And like more than anything, like that's what I really enjoyed, was that like our ethos really in Localis work with them rather for them, like compared to other NGOs where you dictate, okay, this is the issue we want to solve. Here in Local, we meet with them regularly, understand what their needs are, and come up with a solution together with them. And like what Local really is just a platform for them of how they could achieve all these. And eventually in a few years' time, like we want to be insignificant because they could do all of these on their own.
Okay. Do you have an association of young people like you who are into enterprises that do ethical nature and culture projects like what you're doing in Local? Will you deal with the farmers locally, where you even educate the domestic and foreign tourists who visit you. And by the way, I'm sure that you implement ecological solid waste management in your area, and you do not use single-use plastics, and you do slow food. I'm certain that this and many more are implemented in your area in Siargao. Cara?
Yeah, so for example, like what you said about single waste plastics, like also in the Tabo, in the local Tabo, what we have is like refilling stations. And for example, like sachets, like these are like the reason why also like rural communities keep buying sachets because that they don't have any other options. So what we also wanted to do was like match those prices with like mini shampoo bars, which they could buy at the same price as a sachet, or have refilling stations where they could refill their toyos and their sukas and stuff like that. So it's really like trying to slowly change also their behavior, but like through introducing to them new things. And the reason why also like they act like, the reason why like we do this is because we want to show like this is possible for you and it is accessible for you. Because sometimes sustainability, like what's wrong with it is that it doesn't seem accessible by all. And that's what we're also trying to prove. And then also like with the youth, we work with like the agri-youth. So there are a bunch of like young kids who are also trying to go into farming. And really our long-term goal here in Local is like to build a school for the youth here, because we saw that they really do have so much potential. And from like the simple like learning sessions that we host, like when they say like, oh, I want to learn coding. So we try to find like a coder who resides here in the island who could teach them that. Or they want to learn about journaling or like news. Like,
I think you should put up a school like the Green School Bali.
That's actually our goal.
Yeah, I've been there long ago. Maliit lang siya nagsimula, di ba? Hanggang ang dami na ng mga kabataan. You can start small. It doesn't have to be. I'd like to help you, Ipat. Pag nabakunahan na tayo ng buo, lipad tayo. At Cara, ilang taong ka na? Ilang taong ka na?
I'm only 23.
Nakakatuwa ang bata ito. Wow, nakakapangilabot. Ipat, alam mo, yung last week, nakaka-inspire ngayon din. Babatiin ko lang si Andy Eigenman. Hindi man ako online kanina, pero pinagbiling ko na siya kay Ipat at nakikinig naman ako at palagi ko siyang fina-follow online at binabati ko. Nako, ang paborito kong LGU leader, si Vice Mayor Alfredo Matugas Coro ng Del Carmen. Pero hindi po to political show. Hindi ko po alam kung anong partido ni Mayor. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung lokal na politika dyan. Pero natutuwa ako kay Mayor Coro sa kanyang ginawa sa LGU niya. At buwabati ka rin kay Jelrin Rabaca. Hindi man ako kasama ninyo kanina, pero I'm sure natanong na ni Ipat. Ang ganda rin, di ba? Nabasa ko ito actually online at binigay ko sa Climate Change Commission. Sabi ko, tulungan natin itong, paano ba ang pronunciation? Ipat, French di ba? Espoir. Baka magkamali ako Okay, yung Espoir School of Life. Ang ganda. Tapos itong local lab. Nakakatuwa. I don't want to interrupt the discussions, but it's 11:30 and ang dami-daming mga guro at mga principal, Ipat, all over the country. Ang DepEd ay kasama natin at natututo din tayo sa mga best practices ng ating mga DepEd teachers at natututo tayo syempre sa ating mga millennials na kasama natin at yung mga not so millennials na rin pero maraming best practices. Perhaps at this time, we can ask last few words from all our guests. I'm not certain kung Miss Andy Eigenman is still online, but I see Vice Mayor, Mayor Coro, and Miss Jerlyn as well. Of course, Cara just spoke. Yes, Ipat, I hope I did not interrupt the discussion. Cara had completed her presentation. Congratulations for sorry to call you kids. You're younger than my youngest son. Okay, kaedad yan na anak ni Ipat. So, congratulations for all the enlightened youth. This time of 1 hour is not enough to be able to show the good that the Filipinos actually do. In fact, the excellent work that the Filipino youth are modeling to the elders and are showing the world. Kaya nga po, itong Stories for a Better Normal, puro good news. Bagamat nababalot tayo ng kalungkutan, ng problema, ng trahedya, minsan impatience, anxiety, stress, hindi natin pinapaglaban ito, hindi sa ini-ignore po natin. Pero marami ng masamang balita all over. Kaya gusto namin dito, kasama ng DepEd, kasama ng Climate Change Commission, kasama ng Department of Agriculture at DNR, nandiyan si Ipat Luna, at ng Institute of Climate and Sustainable Cities at ng Mother Earth Foundation at ang Climate Reality Philippines ang good news. Anong matuturo ni Andy? Anong natuturo ni Cara? Anong natuturo ni Vice Mayor Coro? At anong naituturo ni Jerin? Salamat sa inyong pagbibigay ng inyong panahon at oras at gusto ko lang humingi ng iilang maiikling pang-goodbye na panandalian lang. I mean, it's not a permanent goodbye. I hope to see you in Siargao. I've not been there in a long, long time, but beautiful. Sana maging modelo. Cara, meron kaya kayong association of ethically run nature and culture areas, NGOs na maaring i-model? O siguro, magaling mo kayo mga bata sa social media, 1 to 10, ano yung mga must do, can do, takeaways na pwedeng puntahan lang ng mga nag-a-aspire magtayo ng resort o ng opisina o ng NGO in their respective areas all over the country. It's got great sharing and we can see that, as you said, it is possible. Hindi mahirap kasi pag lawmaker siguro o senator or congresswoman ang nagsasalita, baka kala nila mahirap implement yung batas. Pero pag ginagawa ng isang 23-year-old, kasi while listening to you, I realized when I was writing my laws in 1998, how old were you then? You were just being born. You are implementing the laws that I wrote when you were being born. So it gives me inspiration to see that you are embracing a life of nature and culture, of ecology and sustainability in your own way, and giving due respect to those who toil and till the land, to those who give food on the table. So, nakakatuwa. Congratulations. So, Cara, a few words, and then Jerlyn, and then Mayor Coro. I'm not sure if Andy's there. Then we read the Facebook messages. Yes.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, like, going back to what you said, was like a big part of the solution really lies like in the problem sector environment of the social sector and its diverse set of people who come up with different approaches and solutions. And like, despite our varying backgrounds, like when we stay rooted and working towards the same goal, like each perspective has value. And then giving them due acknowledgement and consequently reconciling the different approaches they bring to the table. Like we're able to cherry pick what is pragmatic and create content-specific solutions to the multifaceted issues that is poverty. So I guess like really at the end, it's really just staying passionate about like what you want and like believing that you can make a change. And that it's really just working together with different people and working closely with the community that you're able to make something happen.
Very good. At this point, Ipat, may I request you, since you're my focal person as my consultant for the North Antique Protected Areas Ecotourism Bill, may you have just a brief Zoom with JC Perlas of Antique Tourism Province and Flord Calawag of an association who also owns a resort in Tibiao with our young guest, Cara, para ma-compare ang lahat ng resorts, let's say, in Antique, at isama natin si Mayor, Vice Mayor, para ma-implement naman sa ating probinsya na nagbabago ng malaki sa kanilang mga kaugalian mula nung ako'y naging congresswoman at talagang dinidikdik ko ang pagka-sustainable yung sustainable development agenda sa lokal na pamahalaan. At makikita nila na hindi lang lawmaker ang kanilang kausap, kundi ang 23-year-old ay kaya. Kasi pag sinabi ko, sabi nila, we're on our way there, we'll try. Hindi will try. Do it now. Hindi ba? Mayor Coro? Hindi ba? Cara? Jerlyn? Okay. Thank you. Jerlyn, we hear from you now. First time I hear from you because apologies, I was not visually present but present online earlier. Jerlyn.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, for inviting us. And maybe from an education sector, I just would want to say that we all need someone who will believe in us, especially if these students are coming from underserved area. Because sa simpleng paniniwala ng isang eskwelahan, doon mabubuo yung pangarap ng isang bata. And aside from teaching them academically, we also wanted to teach them leadership habang bata pa sila, and of course, to love the environment kung saan sila lumaki at pangalagaan yon. So our end goal here is really to educate them and teach them how to lead and teach them how to love the environment that they have, because only them can make it sustainable.
That's great. Meron ba kayong library?
Yes, ma'am. But it's a community library.
Very
it's
good.
a small community library.
Yan ang maganda, yung small. The smaller, the better para personal. Nakita ko yata online yan eh. Victoria of Climate Change Commission and my staff are online. And Ipat, can you remind me? Can we put all the books that we've done? Ipat, like the Protected Areas book, I worked with the DNR. We have some books on Hibla ng Lahing Filipino with the National Museum. Yung mga aklat na aking na-produce with government agencies when I was senator, mag-donate tayo ng 1 set each para sa School of Life. Hindi kasi ESPWA, kasi baka mali, ESPWA.
ESPWA po.
Tama naman. Okay, ESPWA, magpadala tayo. Maybe through the Office of Mayor. Mayor, ikaw na magpadala sa kanila. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Ganong kalayo ka sa local yung ESPWA?
I think po an hour.
Okay.
40 minutes to an hour.
By land or
by land po. By land po.
Kaya natin yan, Ipat. Okay, pag bakunado na tayong buo, ha? O sige. O Mayor,
I just wanted to add, can we have some books also? Because we have 3 community libraries.
Very good. Can you Viber us or i-Facebook Messenger nyo yung itsura ng inyong library sa lokal at saka sa ESPWA, at para din magkaroon ng modelo para yung aming maliliit na resorts ay magkaroon ng community library din sa amin. Okay. In Pandan, meron kaming private library doon, and I'm building a library in the main in the capital town. But we'll give you 1 set of books for Cara at saka for Jeril.
Deputy Speaker, if I may speak,
yes.
It would be nice also if you have available culture and arts books.
Sure. Dami yan
we
nga.
wanted also to integrate.
In fact, ang mga libro ko that I supported, no, nung isang araw lang, nag-launch kami ng Indigenous Knowledge book ng for learners and teachers sa Ifugao State University. So maganda rin sa Mindanao magkaroon ng kaalaman ng Cordillera culture. Okay, the indigenous knowledge systems and practices of our Ifugao brothers and sisters in the Cordillera. We have the Protected Areas book, which is part of my law, yung Expanded National Integrated Protected Area System. Eksperto dyan si Ipat, siyang aking consultant na sumulot ng batas ko. We will give you that, the PA book with Mundita. I have the Hibla ng Lahing Filipino, which is the only permanent textile gallery in the National Museum. Pag naman wala na rin pandemic, punta naman kayo Maynila, ako magtutour sa inyo dahil marami sa mga tela na gawa ng katutubo, galing Mindanao, galing din sa region ninyo, sa Caraga, ay nandun sa National Museum. So yes, most if not all of my books are nature, environment, culture. We will...
Language, ma'am, yung languages.
Tapos yung aking ginawa with Che Rio Almario, yung sa wikang Filipino as well. Ang dami. So we will collect all these books, 1 set for ESPWA and another set for local. Pero ang hihiling ko, ipa-promise mag-Zoom kayo with the small schools, even with DepEd Head Beryong and our maybe DepEd supervisors, para we see a small school in an island, we see an NGO, a resort, local that deals so that we can have best practices as well. O Mayor Coro, di ba? Ikaw ang isa sa una na naka-avail, binanggit mo ba yan, sa ating People Survival Fund. Yan ay batas ko na kasama ng Climate Change Act noong 2008 at yung PSF ay naipasa bilang amendment sa aking batas na climate change. At ikaw ay isa sa pangunang LGU dahil sa Climate Field School. Tama, Mayor?
Yes, Senator. Maraming salamat po sa batas nyo. Dalawa po yung talagang nagpapasalamat kami, the E-NIPAS law allowing C+ to have its own teeth para we can really implement the sustainability goals that we wanted. Pangalawa is the People's Survival Fund, allowing a science-based approach towards food security, especially in an island ecosystem na wala pong gumagawa sa Pilipinas despite being an archipelago.
Very good. Aspiration ko magkaroon ng, tingnan natin Ipat, isa pang homework mo Ipat ha, ilan na ba ang climate field schools sa buong Pilipinas o una pa lang ba si Mayor? At magandang i-institutionalize natin ang climate field schools in every municipality. Is it doable, Mayor, every municipality or sabihin natin every region na lang or every province?
If I may suggest, Senator, mas maganda every cluster. Kasi kailangan mo ng partner SUC to implement the program. If it's gonna be LGU-based, baka magiging politicized po.
Tama.
That's why we partnered with the SUC to help run the program with us.
If there are 100 or more SUCs, so isang climate field school clustered ang mga LGU located kung saan yung SUC. Tama?
Yes, Senator. Mas maganda po yun para mas sustainable.
Maging extension program ng SUC, di ba? Pwede rin.
Hindi lang po extension. Talagang part siya ng core ng program. Kasi
integral.
Sabi nyo nga po sa batas nyo, yung climate change, it's gonna be here to stay. So hindi pwedeng extension yung something that's permanently changing.
Tama. Yeah, I didn't mean extension. I mean part of it. Yes. So the institutionalization, tama ba yung salitang yun, of the creation of climate field schools in every state university and college and or even private colleges when applicable, and to be located in the LGU where the SUC is so that it could be the host, but for the cluster of municipalities and cities within the area. So that's another bill I will file, Ipat. As you see, even if I come in visually late, but I was online, I have many ideas, and I would like to share this with all our viewers from Manila, Antique, Ilocos Sur, Batangas, Agusan del Sur, Sultan Kudarat, Oriental Mindoro. Ira Ann Ruiz, sabi niya, ang ganda raw ng place, pupunta raw siya sa Sargao. Macken from Mandaluyong. Luella Tani Calvo, Hani Rose Matos from Calamansig, Sultan Kudarat. Wo Mayo Chen, Grace Merillo from San Juan, Batangas. Oh, nawala. Sandali itong aking phone. Okay, I'm sorry. Low-tech phone. Nardet Pahed Somera from Ilocos Sur, Mangantayon, tanghalian na. Okay, Jerry Barcelona from Oriental Mindoro. I was just there the other day virtually when I inaugurated the palengke that I supported in Mansalay. Ay, my favorite, Generosa Cosmila Condes. Good morning, ma'am. Maganda umaga po. Mayad nga aga, ma'am. Gagawa tayo. Gustong-gusto. Ayan. Ipat. Si Miss Condes, aming sa DepEd Pandan, okay? Pwede tayo magtayo ng climate field school. Gustong-gusto niya ito. Gusto rin niya magkaroon ng farm school din. Tapos, Julie Reponte from Kidapawan, Annabel Maunes Sarong from Kidapawan as well, and Are J. Mapatak Cercado from Lam Salome, Sherlita Belarmino, Marlene Olayan from Kidapawan, Haravata, Julie Fe Almoite from Sarangani. Ang dami nanonood sa Mindanao kasi nga Mindanao-based. Aisky Rodriguez Martiliano ng Palawan. Isa pa, napakaganda rin sa Palawan. Norma de la Cruz ng Mayapyap Elementary School. Ludes ng Alabang. Patalot Johnny ng Sarangani. Lecar Selasor Sensei from Malabon. Nandyan yung Clean and Green Barangay. Celeste Gabilio Areno ng Palawan at Rosario Cervantes. Meron silang mga comments, hindi ko na po nabasa ng Agusan. Nako, ang gaganda. Marami pa po. We will post the messages. I wonder if all the messages in our webinar are posted on Facebook, hindi lang yung binabasa ko. Ilagay natin para ma-inspire naman ng ating speakers kasi alam kong maraming nanonood, hindi naman dahil sa akin o kay Ipat Luna, maraming nanonood dahil mga kamag-anakan co-workers, colleagues, mga fans ng ating mga bagets na bisita. Bagets pa naman kami ni Ipat. Hindi naman kami kasing tanda ni Mayor Coro, pero ganon. Biro lang.
Mas bata yan sa...
So ang ating homework ay magkaroon tayo ng informal Zoom. Ipat will take care of it with our DepEd head in Antique as well as the tourism. So we merge education and cultural tourism as well, no? Nature and cultural tourism. Second, we can file the institutionalization of climate field schools located where SUCs are with Mayor Coro's field school as a model. Salamat, Andy. Salamat, Mayor Coro. Salamat, Sherlyn. Salamat, Cara. At huwag natin kakalimutan yung 2 batch ng libro para sa community library. At gusto ko rin makita kung paano nyo ginawa yung inyong community library para din makita ng mga tao na hindi kailangan magara, hindi kailangan puro sementong, gusaling, malalaki, pwedeng indigenous materials. Ipat, thank you so much.
I just wanted to add also, we'll give you some books because we recently just wrote a book in Surigao in English about farming. So we wanted the kids, like the kids were saying that all the books were in English. And so we created this book so they could have something to identify with.
Okay.
And so we wanted to also show the local culture. So I'll give you guys some books also.
Okay, exchange books, exchange better normal stories, exchange best practices. As we say in Antique, yes, Mayor Coro.
Ma'am, we also established the local government resource center in the SUC. It complements the governance factor of the climate field school. So with your sharing po books, baka pwedeng masama rin po.
Okay.
And if you could include local governance books din po.
Okay.
Your policies and bills kasi it's really important for the climate field school to have a governance component. And that's one thing that a lot of the other climate field schools we have missed.
Okay. Climate Change Commission, Victoria, and my Chief of Staff is online. And Ipat, we will curate the books that we will give 3 batches. Duro gid nga salamat. We will play a legacy video. We will play some photos, and then we have to zoom out now. We hate to leave you, but you are in paradise. Thank you so much. As we say in Antique, duro gid nga salamat, palangga ko kamo. Let us uplift each other. Let us share our best practices, and Stories for a Better Normal shows the inspiring stories, the best in the Filipino. Salamat, Attorney Ipat Luna. We learned again from the model LGUs and the model youths ang kabataan at kababaihan ng Pilipinas. Salamat sa inyo. Stay safe. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Simula ang aking political career, nahalal bilang freshman senator sa 11th Congress, rank number 1. Napasa akin ko ang mahigit sa kalahati ng total na national votes. Pinakabatang senator at isa sa 2 natatanging female senators noong panahon na yon. Ngunit ito'y hindi isang posisyon na inihain at ibinigay na lamang sa akin. Pinagpawisan at pinagpaguran ko ang karangalang ito. Mahabang sakripisyo at matagal kong pinaghandaan ang gawaing alam kong para sa akin. Simula pa man ay nais ko nang maglingkod. Taus-puso kong hangad maging isang public servant ang makamit at makapagdulot ng tunay at makabuluhang gawain. At noon pa man ay may mga usapin at issues na matimbang sa aking puso. Ako'y naglingkod bilang chairperson para sa mga komite ng Environment at Economic Affairs. Bago pa man ako umabot sa edad na 40, ako'y hinirang bilang isa sa mga global leaders for tomorrow sa World Economic Forum sa Davos, Switzerland. Iginawa din sa akin ang United Nations Environment Program Award sa Turin, Italy noong 2001. Lahat ng ito habang ako'y patuloy na nagsusulong ng mga batas na layuning mangalaga sa karapatang pambabae at pangkabataan tulad ng Anti-Domestic Violence Act, Anti-Child Labor Law at ang Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. Ako rin ang pangunahing nagsulong upang maging batas ang Ecological Solid Waste Management Act. Pagdating ng 2001, ako ay nahalal bilang Senate Majority Floor Leader, ang kauna-unahan at natatanging babaeng nagkamit ng posisyon na ito. patuloy akong nagsikap bilang isang mambabatas. At noong 2007 ay muling nakamit ang number 1 senator position. Napasa akin ang pinakamaraming boto at kinilala bilang bukod tanging woman senator na nagkamit ng top position sa Senate race twice. Tuloy-tuloy sa paglilingkod, tuloy sa pagiging mambabatas at tuloy sa mas marami pang advokasya. At noong 14th Congress, ako'y namuno bilang chairperson ng mga sumusunod na komite. Ngunit walang patid at walang humpay ang aking gawain bilang mambabatas. Kaya't sa sumunod na 12 taon, patuloy akong naglingkod bilang senador sa 15th, 16th at 17th Congress ng Pilipinas. Kasabay pa rin ito ang aking pagsusulong sa mga advokasyang malapit sa aking puso. Patuloy akong namuno sa mga komite sa climate change, foreign relations, finance at cultural communities. Buong puso kong pinagmamalaki ang aking mga narating bilang isang mambabatas. Ngunit higit pa sa mga batas na aking sinulong, walang kapagurang pinapagpatuloy ko ang aking mga personal na advokasya. Noong 2009, pinamunuan ko ang matagumpay na pagsasabatas ng landmark Philippine Climate Change Act. At noong June ng taong yun, ako'y naghatid ng keynote speech sa Forum on the Human Impact of Climate Change sa Geneva. At patuloy akong nang hikayat na magsulong ng makabagong pananaw sa governance upang masagot ang lumalaking panganib sa climate disaster. Doon ay nilunsad ang aking Legarda Doctrine, isang bagong development thinking at holistic development philosophy ayon sa sustainable at equitable socio-economic ecosystems of governance. Pagdating ng Disyembre ng parehong taon, ako'y nagsalita tungkol sa climate change sa United Nations Climate Change Conference sa Copenhagen at personal nang nag-udyok sa mga mambabatas ng mga ibang bansa na magsulong ng mga batas para tumugon sa mga climate change issues. Ako rin ay matagal nang nagsusulong sa pagpapanatili ng ating national identity at culture at ng ancestry ng mga indigenous peoples. Naigawad sa akin ang mga sumusunod na titulo mula sa iba't ibang katutubo at indigenous peoples groups. Ako rin ang pangunahing nagsulong sa pagbabalik ng bansa sa prestigious na Venice Biennale, ang Olympics ng contemporary art world, matapos ang 51 years na walang partisipasyon. Sa gitna ng mga ito ay patuloy ko pa rin pinananagutan ang aking hangaring maglingkod. Ang damdamin ko'y nag-uumapaw at taus-puso akong nagpapasalamat sa mga tumulong sa akin itong mga nakalipas na taon. Hinding-hindi ko malilimutan ang mga taong nagtiwala, nagsakripisyo, ako'y habang buhay na magpapasalamat. Ngunit mahigit pa sa lahat ng aking narating, hindi pa sa mga batas na isinulong at sa mga komite na pinamunuan, maging sa mga awards at mga parangal na iginawad sa akin. Ako'y buong pusong nagagalak sa tuwing maaalala sa isipan ang ngiti ng mga taong aking naabot. Ang mga kabataan, kababaihan, mga mag-anak at komunidad, mga katutubo, magsasaka, mangingisda, at ang mga minamaliit at hindi man lamang binibigyan ng halaga. Ang damdamin ko'y patuloy nilang naaantig. Sila'y nagbibigay halaga at kabuluhan sa lahat ng aking gawain. Patuloy akong nauudyok magsumikap at walang pagod ay pagpatuloy ang bukod tanging karangalang makapaglingkod. Ako po ang inyong abang lingkod, Loren Legarda.